Hello, Arizona. I'm Jerome Davison. I've always told you that I was the most conservative candidate in this race. Not only in this race, but also in the entire country. Because of my principles of pro-life, family, faith, my support for President Donald Trump, the America First agenda, and no funding for Ukraine. The mainstream media are colluding together to take me down. I'm the exact type of candidate that we need. I don't take injustice lying down. When a member of the Lion Media reached out to me for her little hit piece, I made sure I met her in person. I recorded the entire thing. She not only admitted that she was in contact with my opponents.
I reached out to the campaigns running against you.
Yeah.
Well, they're running against.
So you reached out to
And
opposition.
so as a matter.
But she also admitted that I was the most conservative candidate in the race.
That you have staked out, I would say, among the more conservative in the field.
Maybe that's why she attacked me. In the book, I talked about how I was under attack from the child support courts in California, who unfairly attacked me for paying way more than I was supposed to pay after having an NFL salary. I showed her where I consistently paid my child support and took care of my children, paying for their weddings, paying for their college tuition, and on as a great father should. Well, Laura, your hit piece isn't a hit piece. It was no good. It was an attack journalism on the leading candidate in CD4, and it's not going to work. The people are going to see right through this. If you try to say that you hold your political views close to the vest.
I keep my own political views pretty close to my chest.
We already know that you're a climate changer and a leftist. Laura, you tried to expose me and discredit me, but I have exposed you. America, enjoy this video. Look, if you like the way I'm standing up and fighting for myself and fighting for America, then support my campaign. Go to my website, jeromeforcongress.com. Thank you for your support.
Great. Well, thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I thought just sort of before we get going, say a little bit just about the story that I'm pulling together, and if you have any questions, like before we get into a more formal interview. So when candidates run for Congress, we give them a typical background check. We look into their financial history, their history of political involvement, criminal record, stuff like that. And so that's how I stumbled upon this stuff, and I'm grateful that you agreed to an interview so we can just talk this stuff through.
Could I start out by asking a policy question?
Yes.
How do you plan on introducing him from a policy perspective? Like, I know articles usually will say X candidate, here's what they're known for, here's what they're running on. How do you plan on kind of couching that?
I don't know that I could tell you off the cuff, but things that I'll just tell you off the cuff what I'm thinking. First is that you're one of 4 Republicans challenging Greg Stanton. That you're a retired NFL player. That you have staked out, I would say, among the more conservative in the field. And then we typically
Is that the language you plan on using, more conservative in the field?
I couldn't tell you off the cuff, just because I typically, I'm more measured in my language than I am in speaking, but is there a reason why you asked?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to get a gauge for a good faith basis here, and I'm just trying to see, if you plan on calling him, it's fine if you plan on likening him to QAnon or something. That's what the Arizona Republicans used in the past. They've used verbiage like far right. I'm just trying to, I know you said conservative, which would be kind, but I'm just trying to get a gauge for how.
I mean, what I'll tell you is this has not been top of mind since this story is basically about your background. It's less. We plan to mention your politics, and that's something that I'm hoping we can also discuss.
Right. So it's not a policy article; it's like a personal article.
Yeah, that's right. It's it's about
Do you plan on getting personal with Greg Stanton? Because again, going back to my whole scrutiny thing and why you're looking at him. From the outside looking in, when I first heard about this, it sounds like you're digging into personal family matters at 110-degree level.
And the reason why, if I can tell you, the reason why is that I do the same exact background check across all of my candidates, every single candidate in the race. And it takes me a really long time because there are 50 of them. I run the same background check. First I do kind of an overview, which we just have a server that will sort of tick a little red flag if someone has a criminal record or something in their financial history. If I see that, then I dig in further. And so you were one of the candidates where I got those initial red flags, and so I dug in further. And that's, I mean, Greg Stanton doesn't have something like this in his background.
He's divorced as well, so it's like by red flag you mean like,
Yeah.
I mean you're talking about
I mean,
a lot
like
of
a
like family
bankruptcy.
court.
I mean, like a bankruptcy, like appearing in court a bunch of times, like.
So,
and yeah.
so the focus of your article is bankruptcy, divorce as well. So it's like by red flag you mean like,
Yeah.
I mean you're talking about
I mean,
a lot
like
of
a
like family
bankruptcy.
court.
I mean, like a bankruptcy, like appearing in court a bunch of times, like.
So,
and yeah.
so the focus of your article is bankruptcy.
The focus of my article is what I understand and what I'm hoping to talk to you guys about. But based on my deduction, seems to be a pretty turbulent financial and personal history based on the public records that I've gotten.
Right.
Okay, well, let's dig into it. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's do that.
But you said
yeah.
that you stumbled upon this. And I was at the meeting yesterday. There was a reporter from the Arizona Sun. She said that somebody sent her this information. So no one sent you this. You did the digging on your own.
I reached out to the campaigns running against you to see if they had done any research on this. That's pretty typical when I'm writing a story like this because it's redundant for me to do work that someone else has done. I'm not at liberty to disclose my sources.
You said you came across this information by
in
asking
a background
candidates.
check.
No, you said you asked candidates.
Yeah. So after I ran my background check using LexisNexis, that's our software that is like a high altitude.
And it says ping bankruptcy.
Afterward,
after,
right. So then afterwards, what I know, based on being a politics reporter, is that typically, or often when people run campaigns, they do this kind of research already on the people they're running against.
So you reach out to
and
opposition.
so, as a matter of course, I reach out to opposition. Yeah.
Okay.
To see, have you gotten anything? Is there anything you can tell me to speed up my
Okay. And then what if they give you?
I don't feel.
Or I guess you don't have to say specifically what your email. I'm not at all trying to ask about your sources or methods.
Right.
I'm asking. Okay, so you sent an email, and then now where are we?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
I'm asking you like what you sent an email, and now you say you have concerns. You're going to ask us. I'm asking you what your concerns are.
Oh yeah, well I'd love to talk about them in an interview.
Okay.
Yeah, we're asking.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then what I'd love to do is record our conversation so that I don't misquote you in our recording. Would that be okay?
You got it.
Okay, great. Let me get that pulled up. So
I was on TV yesterday.
Oh, really, Trump rally?
Yeah, I was at the Trump rally, and they said I was directing everybody. I'm telling everybody where to go. He just told me he owns the
Are you
place.
sure they didn't confuse me? You know, she did that when we came here.
Oh, really?
She thought I was you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there are a number of more specific questions I want to ask you, but first I want to give you the chance to tell me. So I know you work for you played for the NFL. Mm-hmm. Just walk me through in broad strokes the last few decades of your life. I saw you've been through bankruptcy, an eviction. How have things gone? When did things start to go financially downhill, and where are you now? Can you just give me the high altitude summary?
I worked in the prison after I retired from the NFL. Solano Prison. It was a medical facility, Vacaville Medical Facility. I was a counselor there, parenting instructor, anger management instructor, and hospice ministry. There was like 2 jobs. I worked there for 10 years. I was a pastor for 16 years in Northern California. Bountiful Harvest Church that I founded. That was also an income for me. I went through a divorce with my ex-wife. Not due to anything I've done. I've never had an affair. I've had all of my children with her. This as far as character goes. I've ordered my life in a type of way that gives glory to God and pulled me out of the typical stuff so that people